Mr. Homain is here from Kui. Mr. Moko Ferdinand is here from Danone. Mr. Lusoy also from Danone is also here. So we're waiting for the rest to join us before we commence the session. The office of the Vice President is already on ground for this event today. Thank you very much for coming. For the attendees that have joined us earlier than usual this morning, of course, the event is supposed to commence from 10:30 this morning, but thank you very much for joining us. It is the 2020 French Week celebration that started last week, Friday, aimed at celebrating France-Nigeria relationship. So this event today, which is a vice president palling with French business leaders, is part of the events that forms the 2020 French Week celebration. So thank you for joining us this morning as we wait for others to come on, our speakers, the Chairman Board of Directors, His Excellency, the Ambassador of France to Nigeria, His Excellency, the Consul General of France in Lagos, the Regional Economic Counselor of the Embassy of France in Lagos, the Economic Counselor of the Embassy of France in Lagos, and of course, our speakers that will be engaging with His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, GCON, this morning. Thank you very much for joining us as we wait for others to come on. Thank you. So good morning, everybody, and thank you for those that have joined us already. I can see that we have a good number of participants already this morning, though we said 10:30, but some of us have joined us early enough. It is the 2020 French Week celebration. And then this event is marking one of the events for the 2020 French Week. It is the Vice President, His Excellency, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, palling this morning with selected French business leaders. So it's the one of its kind, and it's a high-level business webinar this morning. So we thank you all for joining us, and we hope it's going to be, of course, it is going to be an interesting session. It is going to be a highly informative session as we look forward to the Vice President speaking to us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, this event is under the patronage of His Excellency, the Ambassador of France to Nigeria, His Excellency, Monsieur Jérôme Pasquet, and is chaired this morning by the Chairman, Board of Directors of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Alhaji Usman Mohammed. So we are waiting for all to connect this morning. I believe in the next 3 to 5 minutes, we will be live with the proceedings for this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. So thank you very much all for joining us this morning for this high-level business webinar of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the light of the 2020 French Week celebration. It is our delight to have you here this morning for this high-level business webinar. In our presence is His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. This morning in the presence of His Excellency, the Ambassador of France to Nigeria, Ambassador Jérôme Pasquet. And this event will be chaired by the Chairman, Board of Directors of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Alhaji Usman Mohammed. For our participants this morning, we will be having Air France, KLM, represented by Michel Kolo, MD CEO Air France KLM, accompanied by Mr. Owolabi Olumide. And part of for our participants, we also have the representative of Danone Fan Milk here in Nigeria, Mr. Ferdinand Moko, and accompanied by Mr. Olusoya Olakunle, who is the group legal advisor. For the French Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs, we have His Excellency, as I've mentioned before, the Ambassador of France to Nigeria, Jérôme Pasquet, and the Consul General of France in Lagos, Madame Laurent Momihan. For the French Ministry for Economy and Finance, we have the head of the Regional Economic Service of the Embassy of France, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Monsieur Pascal Frey. Also with him, we have Mr. Gwenole Jean, also, which is the Economic Counselor in Lagos. For the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, as I've mentioned before, we have the Chairman, Board of Directors, Usman Mohammed, who is also by extension the MD CEO of New Energy Services Company Limited. And also we have Mrs. Victoria Adefala. She is a board member of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. She sits on the board of Net Orange Middle East and Africa Holding Company. She sits on the board of GT Bank Saipem. And also she is a founding member of the France-Nigerian Business Club. And myself this morning, Mr. Muru Moses, who is the Director General of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce. We also have participating this morning, Kui Deliveries, an e-commerce delivery in Africa. We have Mr. Humain Horio Loli, which is the CEO of Kui. Also participating this morning is P Oil and Gas, expert in oil and gas and energy services. We have the MD CEO, which is Mr. Guillaume Nafix. Last but not the least, this morning, we have the representation for the biggest, of course, we can call him the biggest French brand in Nigeria, Total, oil production, oil exploration, and new energies. We have the MD CEO and the country chair, Mr. Mike Sangster. Thank you very much for all joining us this morning for this event. So right now, we'll be having a few meet and greet session as we await His Excellency, the Ambassador of France in Nigeria joining us. And also, of course, we already seen indications that His Excellency, the Vice President is already here waiting for us to get set. Of course, we are set, as I can say. So we're going to have a few meet and greet session, and then I'll just be engaging briefly, particularly informally, with some of our participants or our speakers here this morning. So I will start with Danone for this meet and greet session. I understand that Danone is the world's largest yogurt maker. And of course, interested in the Nigerian business economy, Danone acquired Farm Milk International, right? So Mr. Moko Ferdinand, if I want to call your attention, how has the journey been for you so far with the acquisition of Danone Farm Milk, and how's the Nigerian business environment been for your business? Mr. Ferdinand from Danone, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Excellency, Mr. President. So how has been our journey so far? Actually, the acquisition of Farm Milk Nigeria by Danone started in 2016 when we acquired as a minority shareholder, and we completed actually the acquisition last year, 2019, and in Nigeria today, we are owning more than 99% of shares. So we are like the only major shareholder in Farm Milk Nigeria. The business of Farm Milk in Nigeria is doing quite well, despite a challenging year with the COVID crisis that we know, and with more recently the EndSARS. We are going to achieve a double-digit growth this year, which is quite encouraging for our business. Of course, we have also several a couple of investments that we are currently running, and I'll have the opportunity to come back on this.
Thank you very much, sir. Nice to meet you this morning. I will look forward to your engagement with His Excellency, the Vice President of Nigeria. Thank you very much. So I will go to Kui Deliveries. Kui Deliveries, you are a special brand. You came into Nigeria as a startup, in quotes. Kui Delivery is the first delivery platform focused on African businesses to offer seamless, easy, and integration into major e-commerce delivery in Nigeria, right? The founder, Roman, you were a diplomat already posted to Africa, so you have experience in the African market, right? So how's your journey been so far, Mr. Roman? If you can talk about Kui in just about a few minutes. Thank you.
Absolutely. So Quick is a software platform that aims to enable Nigerian businesses to seize the opportunity of e-commerce through three different areas of service. last mile deliveries, fulfillment, and payment services. Without those three areas, those three type of services, you cannot grow a digital economy. And that's what we aim to contribute to. And we've been doing since 2008. And we have over 30,000 B2B users on our platform right now.
That's great. Lately, you partnered with Total service stations to serve as pickup locations for essential documents for the Corporate Affairs Commission. Can you just chip in on that, please, quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, e-commerce requires not only functioning digital platform, but also it requires e-commerce players to be able to go as close as possible to the consumers. So it requires a network of strategically located pickup locations. And this is what we experimented with Total for the delivery of business documents by the CAC, which is one of our customers.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And nice to meet you this morning, sir. We look forward to a very, very engaging session with His Excellency the Vice President. So I will go straight to SPE Oil and Gas. SPE Oil and Gas being led by Guillaume Nafix. Monsieur Guillaume Nafix, thank you very much for joining us. Of course, SPE Oil and Gas is a household name in terms of with your extensive experience in providing energy services, delivering solutions for the oil and gas space, both onshore and offshore. But one thing I want to point out is the fact that you have lived in Africa for 15 years. Mr. Guillaume, you have not just worked with SPE, you have worked with other brands. How has your journey in Africa been, and most especially using Nigeria as a case in point? SPIE, please.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Excellency and ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed, I have personally been in Nigeria for actually 15 years, working along, in most of West Africa, but always living in Nigeria. I spent the first 10 years of my journey in Nigeria with Total, which was a great way to start. But no, it has been a great journey so far, and that's why I'm still here. I think Africa and Nigeria in particular are seeing a wide range of opportunities and dynamism where we can actually still identify areas of growth and develop very interesting business. And well, my journey has been good so far for the last 15 years, but if I want to talk about SPE, actually, we've been in Nigeria since 1978. It's been sometimes a bumpy journey, but a very interesting one, and we're grown to be one of the leader in oil and gas services in Nigeria. So despite this very challenging year, 2020, we're staying very committed to the country, and we are seeing a very bright future here.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Guillaume Nafix, and we look forward to your engagement with His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So
thank you.
I will go to F-Funds KLM. F-Funds KLM, of course, is a household name. They say the good wine needs not much publicity as far as F-Funds is concerned. France is always in the air, as far as F-Funds is concerned, And it's just unfortunate that we will not be able to have the MD, Mr. Michel Kolo, this morning. He is unavoidably absent. He still apologized even this morning due to health reasons. But of course, he is watching this event as it is going on live from where he is. So he's represented by the Senior Manager for Sales in Nigeria. So please, can you just tell us a bit about the Air France journey? Of course, we know that the ban has been lifted for Europe flyers already, and I'm sure you're delighted about that. And so how's the journey been so far as, and I'm looking at using 2020 as a case in point. Air France, please.
Okay, thank you very much for having us. Yes, like you said, it has really been a turbulent year. Of course, we started out of the year with a lot of projections, and there came March, where the full weight of the pandemic hit, especially in Nigeria, as it had started with other international organizations prior to now. So yes, I would say that it has been a very smooth journey. In the airline terms, we would say that there's been a lot of turbulence in the air. So we've been having to maneuver based on the support that we've gotten from the Nigerian government. Of course, the help of the Chamber of Commerce has also been very instrumental to ensuring that we are able to get good information and to also stay afloat. The great news, as you said, is we are closing the year knowing that we're going to be flying again. And we thank all the stakeholders that were instrumental to ensuring that, this plight of the airline was considered very strongly. So we remain optimistic. We know the pandemic is still clearly out there, but we also understand that a lot of work is going into finding a cure for it. And we believe that we are going to be here for the long haul, and we can only wait it out till the skies are clear yet again.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Wolobi, and then we look forward to your engagement with His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So last but not the least, I will go to Total. Of course, it's very intentional for me to talk about Total last. Total, your investment in Nigeria cannot be missed, of course. Total has operated in the upstream sector in the Nigerian hydrocarbon industry for over 50 years. The company is Nigeria's fourth largest producing company. And of course, with other information around Total. But the most important thing is Total's participation in the Virginia FPSO Deepwater project, the $16 billion project of Total. Of course, we understand that Total has 24% stake in that project. I don't know if Mr. Olabi, are you still talking? I don't know if he's still talking because it looks as if he's still speaking to us, but I think I'm done discussing with him. So, Mr. Mike Stansda, how has the journey been for Total using the Virginia project as a case in point?
Yeah, well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for inviting me along today. Yeah, well, Virginia has been a bit of a bumpy ride, I think, as it was a project which was sanctioned in 2013 and started up at the end of 2018. And obviously, over the past year, the oil market has been pretty turbulent. We've seen with the price war between Saudi Arabia and Russia at the beginning of the year, and then obviously the pandemic, we've seen a lot of pressure on oil prices. And so it's been difficult time, I think, for all the industry. And I mean, Egina maybe is feeling the brunt of it. And obviously as well, our production is restricted at the moment due to the OPEC quotas. Nigeria has been very disciplined. I think the government has been very disciplined this year in terms of implementing OPEC quotas. So, we're having to kind of close the valves a little bit on Egina at the moment to tune down the production to fit with the OPEC quotas. But no, I mean, it's a great project. It's a fantastic field. I mean, it can produce up to 200,000 barrels of oil per day. Which is 10% or more than 10% of the country's oil production. So, and I think it achieved kind of many milestones as well in terms of local content. I think with something like 46 million man hours of work was actually done in Nigeria, and the integration of quite a few of the modules on the surface of the FPSO was done at the Ladol yard in Lagos. So I think it broke many barriers and created many firsts, I think, for the industry in Nigeria. So I think the challenge now is how the industry can move forward and develop some more projects like Egina. So I'm sure that's one of the topics I'll be wanting to raise with the Vice President when he joins us.
Thank you very much, sir, Mr. Sangster. And of course, it's really great to have you around. Thank you very much for taking our time to speak to us. And of course, we look forward to a beautiful engagement with His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. All right. So for all the participants, Mrs. Victoria, I will just come to you briefly and just have a little bit on the France-Nigerian Business Club. So far, of course, you have vast experience working with French companies. What is your confidence as far as French businesses are in Nigeria in terms of the investment? Nigeria is really a very good ground for French businesses. They keep coming in, and I'm sure you're getting a lot of feedback from these people. So how has it been so far? Just share your experience with us.
Thank you, Moses. The relationship between France and Nigeria from a business point of view, to me, is a very robust one, and has always been. And as you say, I have participated for many years in it, from my time with Michelin, which was 16 years, and then my time as president and CEO of Alstom, 8 years. And now with me as an independent non-executive director on the board of Orange Middle East and Africa Holding Company. The France-Nigeria Business Club, as you know, was established when President Macron visited Nigeria and has in its stables a large number of Nigerian businessmen and women and a large number of French businessmen and women. The idea being to foster even stronger relations at all levels, also complementing the work of the Franco-Nigeria Chamber of Commerce, which certainly is an older entity and encompasses a lot more people, both from the SME level up to the big players. The thriving nature of the French-Nigeria business community is one that really gives joy to anybody who is a participant. The language barrier has not been an issue. A lot of people would think, for example, today when some people saw this, they said, oh my goodness, are you people going to speak French there? And we say, no, it's going to be in English, because there is always an effort by entrants from France to try and speak English. And most Nigerians who want to do business in France, when you say to them, parlez-vous français, they say, oui, je parle un peu. So I mean, at least there's always that synergy. So in answer to your question, it's thriving. It's very enthusiastic on both sides. And I think the sky is the limit. A lot more, even in these difficult times, we see a lot of inquiries about Nigeria, people wishing to come, and just waiting for the opportunities to be made manifest. Moses, thank you.
Thank you very, very much for that robust one. Thank you very much. I've just been told that the Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Honorable Niyi Adebayo, is present here with us this morning. Thank you, Mr. Niyi, for joining us this morning. I understand that okay, as soon as I get to that information among those that are participating with us this morning, I would begin to call them one by one. And all our guests, our board members this morning that are here, of course, we needed to select just 5 brands, but French companies are over 120 in Nigeria. It has grown over 100% in the last 10 years, the last decade, of course. So Nigeria is really a place to do business, as against what a lot of people are saying out there. We understand that the chairman board of directors of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry is live already with us this morning. Alhaji Usman Mohammed, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if you want to say 1 or 2 things before we commence today's operation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Moses. Nothing much to say. I've been hearing all the participants, and then just to thank everyone for honoring this invitation. And as you all know, the relationship between France and Nigeria has been existent for a long time, and it's very cordial. So looking about the economy in the whole world, what is happening here in Nigeria today is speculative, is what happening all over the world. So and then I think there's one thing, the opportunity we have in Nigeria here is just our numbers and then the business opportunity.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much.
In the various sector, I'm sure the people in the airline aviation industry can confirm that. So, and at the same time, people in the oil and gas industry as well. So, so I welcome everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And then, of course, we're delighted you are chairing this session today. I just want to quickly recognize, because it's just a few minutes to 11 o'clock, where we will take the national anthem and then we'll commence today's session. So I understand that we have the chairperson of the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, Ms. Yewande Sadiku, is also live with us this morning. Thank you very much, Ms. Yewande, for joining us this morning. Mr. Huhaba GK for MDC of Mazas, Monsieur Thomas Pelletier, which is the MD CEO of CFAO, which is a very big French brand. He also sits on the board of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you for joining us this morning. We can see you here. Monsieur Laurent Couder. Monsieur Laurent Couder is a board member of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the MD CEO of Ponticelli. Thank you very much, Monsieur Laurent Couder, for joining us. Mr. Kunle Ahmed, the board member, Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the MD CEO of AXA Mansard, of course, a French-Nigerian brand. thank you for joining us this morning. Dr. Yemi Daudu, the MD of Cleaner Lancet, also a French affiliated brand. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm just calling them in no particular order as I'm looking at them from the participants' angle. And then in the next few minutes, we'll be joined with, I understand that His Excellency, the ambassador of France in Nigeria is live with us already. Monsieur Ambassador, merci beaucoup for joining us this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. And it's nice to have you around. I think I saw him briefly.
Good morning. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
And also the Consul General of France, Nigeria, Madame la Consul General. I think she's also here this morning. Can you just say a few things, Madame Consul General, please?
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I have a sore throat, but I'm very happy to attend this meeting this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madame la Consul General. Thank you very much. And she is a very, very big supporter of the France-Nigerian business relationship, and also, of course, a very close partner to the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So as we have other guests join us this morning, Dr. Tenia Desoya. Dr. Tenia Desoya, thank you for joining us this morning. He's the chairman of Oxford International Group, one of the sponsors of the 2020 French Week celebration. So, Mr. Chairman, I seek your permission to officially open today's event with. Should we go ahead, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, we should. I think the first.
Yes, please. Yes, so we'll stand by for the national anthem of Nigeria and France, which was pre-recorded for the purpose of today's event by a member of the orchestra of the Music Society of Nigeria. Thank you very much, John, for the national anthem of Nigeria and that of France. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Chairman, Board of Directors of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Alhaji Usman Mohammed, for his welcome address. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Moses. And then good morning, sirs. My name is Usman Mohammed, the President of France-Nigerian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Your Excellency, sir, the first President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Silverio. Your Excellency, the Ambassador of France to Nigeria, the Consul General of France in Lagos, the Regional Economic Council of Embassy of France, the Economic Councilor of Embassy of France in Lagos, board member of Franco-Nigerian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, the CEOs of multinational French business attending this event, such as Total, SPI, Quid Delivery, Danone, Air France, KLM, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen connected with us this morning. First of all, it is with a great pleasure and the utmost humility that I welcome you all to this very important high-level webinar tech Vice President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, finally with a French business leader, which offered the opportunity of selected French business in the various sector to engage with His Excellency. The Vice President of Nigeria, I thank His Excellency for taking out time to be with us this morning. Of course, the France-Nigeria relationship has continued to grow with the numbers of French companies doubling investment in Nigeria over the last decade. One point I wanted to highlight is that the French company investing in Nigeria creates a very high footprint with numerous benefits, including the growth of Nigerian economy, creation of employment, transfer of technology and the skill, and the development of community in which this business operates various CSR initiatives. So the Franco-Nigerian Chambers of Commerce and Industry has indeed played a fundamental role in the promotion of the France-Nigerian business and diplomatic relationship. The chamber currently boasts of over 400 noteworthy members of organizations and operates closely with the French embassy in Nigeria. Thanks to the ambassadors. Your Excellency, I strongly believe today's section will further strengthen the France-Nigerian relationship and will show Nigeria is indeed a place to do business and remain in business. As I look forward to having a very engaging section, permit me to welcome you all to today's official event. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, the Chairman, Board of Directors of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Now we'll go straight to the opening address by His Excellency, the Ambassador of France to Nigeria, Monsieur Jérôme Pasquet. Your Excellency, sir.
Good morning, all of you. Sorry, first of all, I don't appear under my right name because I have not received the right code for the meeting today, but I'm not Guillaume Niaflex, I'm really the ambassador. Your Excellency, the Vice President, Mr. Chairman, all the participants, it's a real pleasure to introduce again this webinar. The circumstances has made that the normal French week that is organized every year in November couldn't happen as usual. But I think it was important to keep some events like this webinar. Of course, everybody is sorry that the degustation of Beaujolais Nouveau cannot happen online, but at least we can have this very serious discussion. And I want to thank very, very warmly His Excellency, the Vice President, especially taking into account that he has accepted only 2 weeks ago to do the same exercise with the French Business Association from Paris. So I think we are very, very grateful to him for having accepted to devote twice part of his precious schedule to deal with the French-Nigerian economic relations. Since the last event 2 weeks ago, we had very good news, that is the resumption of flights by the European airlines. So this quite painful measure has been reversed. So I think now it's one obstacle that has been taken out on the path of the development of our French-Nigerian relations. And it's a very good opportunity now to listen from His Excellency the Vice President. We are on the French side very much willing to develop the relations with Nigeria in all fields. They are already pretty good, but we can do more. Political field, cultural field, anti-terrorism, of course, but also, and this is the subject for today, the economic field. We can have, our relations are not too bad, but we can really, we're very confident that we can really do much more with your help, with the help of the French-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce. So, Mr. Vice President, thank you very, very much for your participation this morning. And I shall stop here because we are here to listen to you and not to listen to what I can say. Thank you very much. And I'm sure that everyone will enjoy your very good meeting this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of France to Nigeria, Monsieur Jérôme Pasquier. Thank you very much for that warm welcome address. And of course, thank you very much, the Chairman, for the welcome address. So we will now invite His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osibajo, GCON, to give us his opening remarks. Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. The Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otumba Nuri Adebayo, Excellency, the Ambassador of France to Nigeria, Ambassador Jérôme Pasquier, the Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission, Ms. Yewande Sadiku, Chairman of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the MD CEO of New Energy Services Company Limited, Alhaji Usman Mohammed. Board member of the FNCCI, Mrs. Victoria Defala, and other board members present. The moderator and Director General of the Franco-Nigeria Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Moses Umoru, and all of the members of the Franco-Nigeria Chamber of Commerce present, captains of industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure to join you all at this webinar of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I think some exciting things are about to happen between France and Nigeria. This will be, as Ambassador Pasquier said, this will be my second interaction within 2 weeks or so with French business interests in Nigeria. I had earlier met with the Africa Commission of the Mouvement d'Entreprise de France, MEDEF International, and my French is actually improving every day now with all these interactions with the French to discuss French investments in Nigeria. And I'm pleased to continue these engagements with you all today. As countries around the world struggle to rebuild our economies, it's very evident that we cannot do this without collaboration. And meaningful collaboration is really quite critical here. Collaboration between countries and between sectors has become more important than ever. And as one of France's leading partners in sub-Saharan Africa, we are committed to keeping that relationship going, you know. And organizations such as yours, the Franco-Nigeria Chamber of Commerce, are, in my own opinion, a clear demonstration of this collaboration and of the seriousness with which both Nigeria and France and the commercial and business interests in both countries take the relationship. I think that this is particularly exciting because it is also coming at a time when, you know, when we're trying to struggle with all sorts of hard decisions that have to be made, and also we're looking forward to so many different. We're looking forward to the fruition of so many different plans and so many different projects programs that we have. For us, a key priority remains the provision of jobs for a large number of very young people. 70% of Nigeria's population. In effect, providing jobs for the Nigerian population. And we have been determined to, work on ways to continue to create real opportunities for young Nigerians, bridging existing skill gaps, equipping them with resources that they need to contribute positively to our national development. So we're really eager to work with, member organizations of this Chamber of Commerce, as we implement future programs, future job programs, future economic programs. We've also, alongside partner forums such as this, we work closely with wholly indigenous private companies because we recognize that the private sector is the real engine of growth. So we do, quite a bit of work, already, and we engage, at different fora with many companies, including many French companies, and some have attended some of our events, some of the events that we've organized with the private sector. But our vision is a significant improvement in the Nigerian business environment, just to increase cross-border trading and productivity across, the economic sectors. So we're working hard to establish a business environment that we hope will be supportive of both domestic and foreign investors. Despite the economic slowdown, and of course, we're all aware of what the GDP figures are this quarter, but I think it's important, to recognize that the pandemic, which really is the cause of the sharp downturn, not just in the Nigerian economy, but in practically all of our economies all over the world, except perhaps China. But it also provides incredible opportunities for doing all manner of very innovative, very creative things. And I think that we're in a season where we're ready to experiment and where we're ready to do a lot more. And if you look at our economic sustainability plan, which was our response to the pandemic, what we tried to do was to do a few things that we thought would be game-changing. One of those, for example, and there are quite a few things, I'm not going to bore you with all the details of ASP, which I'm sure you're already familiar with. But one of the important things that we tried to do was with respect to renewable energy, where and what we tried to do there is our solar power interventions. There we're collaborating with several solar power companies to provide within the next 12 months, 5 million Nigerian households with solar home systems. Now, this is partly to address the issues with the national grid by, providing more off-grid capacity, but also, to provide real opportunities in the renewable energy space. And I think that this might be of interest to French business people also. What we're doing is that we're getting financing through the central bank as part of the economic sustainability plan. I'm sure you're aware that we have a 2.3 trillion plan. The funding is about 2.3 trillion. But a substantial part of that funding is coming in the form of loans to the private sector, especially those that are involved in the assembly of solar power equipment, installation of solar power equipment, and even retailing solar power equipment. And the whole idea is to resource them so that they can provide these services to the 5 million initial target, 5 million homes, which is our initial target. And then we hope that, of course, that will create several opportunities around it. Even the payment systems that will have to be worked out around the solar home systems, provide some opportunities, installation, servicing, maintenance, etc. This is a very important part of the work that we're trying to do. We have the collaboration of the World Bank on this as well, and we think that this is a project that will redefine, in many ways, the power sector, especially provision of power in homes, domestic provision of power. We think that this might be something that would really make a huge difference. We're really open to whatever, what other, ideas, suggestions, and all of that are possible. I'm sure that today we'll have conversations also around what's going on in the hydrocarbon industry, where, we have Total that's doing some really excellent work there and all that. And we're also quite happy to announce, and I'm sure my friend Ambassador Pascal will be happy about the Air France and all of that, and developments around that. I think all of that has been quite good news, and we're all, happy that Air France is able to go back and forth from Nigeria again. So again, just to thank you very much for this opportunity, and to look forward, of course, to the discussions that will follow, and to say how, greatly encouraged we are about the interest that the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce continues to generate in the Nigerian economy and Nigerian business. We hope that this union, this collaboration will be stronger and stronger. Thank you again. Thank you very much, and look forward to the conversations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you for your heart-warming address to us, of course, mentioning Air France, mentioning the hydrocarbon works of Total, and of course, what you mentioned at your opening remarks when you talked about the creation of jobs for young entrepreneurs. Under the leadership of the chairman of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Alhaji Usman Mohammed, this year during the pandemic, we opened up a new membership category for startups. With a no subscription payment period for 2 years, to ensure that these startups can be able to see what developed companies are doing already and see how to be able to scale up from there. And even as at tomorrow, we're having an entrepreneurship summit where we're going to be having these young startups between the age of 30 below exhibit and showcase their solutions in tech, agri-tech, fintech, and all of that. And then, of course, have them in to the France-Nigerian Business Network. This is done in collaboration with the French Embassy. Most of the young startups that were selected for the African France 2020 Summit that was not held, they are going to showcase some of their solutions tomorrow. And thank you very much for your opening address. And then, of course, we can see that is in line with exactly what the Chamber of Commerce is doing. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. So I will go straight to reactions from the French business leaders in no particular order. We have 5 minutes each to give our reactions on, and then, of course, ask 1 or 2 questions to His Excellency the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I will start from Air France KLM. Of course, the Vice President has already mentioned that they have lifted that already. So I think it's best to start from you. I'm sure you're very happy, though, of course, you mentioned that this year has been turbulent. So we have Mr. Owolabi Olumide, who is the Senior Sales Manager for Nigeria, Air France KLM. Please go ahead, sir.
Good morning, everyone. His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, we consider it a privilege to have this panel with you. Unfortunately, the General Manager of Air France Nigeria, Mr. Michel Kolu, is unavoidably absent due to his recovery from malaria. He extends his warmest regards and his deepest apologies. Just like you said, Air France KLM wishes to thank the Nigerian government for her support in the authorizations to fly in and out of Nigeria again. It's good to share that we will be resuming our flights on the 7th of December. Thank you once again. Over the past years, we have engaged over 20 flights weekly, transported over 400,000 passengers yearly, and this has culminated to a market share of about 11% in the international travel market during normal times. However, due to the pandemic, this year has been extremely turbulent, as an international airline, with airlines either at the brink of bankruptcy and even some actually considering folding up. Added to that, sir, is the issue of slow fund transfer. We implore your help and support in creating bigger windows for smoother transferring of funds. The need to transfer funds is what we believe one of the remedies to our businesses staying afloat in these turbulent times. From my colleagues at the French Chamber of Commerce, we also request your support, sir, in the areas of increased infrastructure, especially around the ports and the road transportation. The difficulty experienced in ports businesses, especially the shipping lines, the handlers, and all some of the other business units, has made production in Nigeria slightly more cumbersome. The government has done a lot, we will say, in road infrastructure, but we hope to see more, especially around areas of state-to-state road transportation, and even the road network within and around the ports. There is a need to engage all stakeholders, all agencies involved in both ports and road authorities for smoother operation. These factors, if looked into, can bring about greater ease of business, foreign direct investments, and a rapid reduction in inflation. We want to commend the efforts of the Presidential Task Force in managing the repatriation flights during the closure of the airspace, and also the smooth reopening of the airport. We gladly await the operation of the new airport terminal in Lagos. We remain thankful to the government, and we honestly pray for clearer skies ahead. Thank you, His Excellency.
Thank you very much, Mr. Owolabi Olumide, Senior Manager, Oil France KLM. Thank you very much for keeping that short, straight, and simple. Thank you very much. So we'll go straight to the next reaction. I will be calling the MDC of SPI Oil and Gas, Monsieur Gulim Nafix. Monsieur Gulim Nafix, please, can we have your reactions for the Vice President?
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, Mr. Ambassador, Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen. So I am the real Guillaume Niafex, actually. So get that straight. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President, for this address. What we'd like to see and say is that 2020 has been a pretty challenging year on many ways, many levels. Most of us have been impacted very deep, directly or indirectly by the situation. And in this context, a lot of companies have decided to either leave Nigeria or reduce their exposure and footprint. We at SPI, just like some of our colleagues here in the room or in the Zoom room, have decided otherwise and have done the exact opposite. We've stuck together with Nigeria and have decided to support the economy, to invest in Nigeria. I mean, for example, we built a training center to provide more capacity in the industry. We have acquired actually the activities of some of our competitors so we could stay in Nigeria and keep working here. So my question is the following. I have two. The first one is the Nigerian government going to provide some kind of incentive or facilities for companies that supported the economy and the country during these trying times? And in the topic of the other industry or sector you mentioned, like our sector especially, how can we actually concretely get on board and help you on short term? That'll be all for me. I'm of course also very much interested by the answer to the question of my colleagues from Air France, especially around the infrastructure and the importation in Nigeria, which are very difficult, as you know, and very often very expensive. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Monsieur Gulim Nafix, MD CEO, SPI Oil and Gas. So we go straight to Kui Deliveries, the CEO of the e-commerce platform here in Nigeria, Monsieur Kromen Leli. Kui Deliveries, do we have Kui Deliveries there? Okay, because he was with us in our meet and greet session. So in case it's not, I will just move over to Danone and Fan Milk. So I'll be calling on the MDC of Danone Fan Milk, Monsieur Ferdinand Moko. Monsieur Ferdinand, please, can we have your reaction to the Vice President?
Thank you very much, Excellency Mr. President, Excellency Mr. Ambassador. Danone Fan Milk is really engaged in the economic sustainability plans of the federal state of Nigeria, and we are already on this journey. Just a quick overview of our impact today in the country. We are directly employing more than 750 people in Nigeria Fan Milk all across the country in our head office, in our factory in Ibadan, but also in the various distribution centers, Port Harcourt, Benin City, and Abuja, Kano, and so on. We are also providing indirectly 18,000 employment through our network of distribution with the pushcart. I'm sure that you are quite familiar to our Fan Milk pushcart vendor model. We can see them all across the country when we are moving. So we have 18,000 of these people. They are increasing year after year. This is a massive impact, but not only the pushcart, but also all the ecosystem that we are creating around them with the distributors, with the agents that are distributing our product in these respective areas. Another impact that we are also doing locally is that we have been able to move our sourcing of raw and packed material in Nigeria in the last 3 years from 30% to 60%. We are sourcing locally in line with the productivity increase of the country. And our ambition is to source 100% by 2030 in Nigeria. Having said this, we are also working currently on the future on some investment, on some key investment. For instance, our factory of Ibadan, by end of next year, we are going to be able to double the capacity of the factory, moving from 30,000 million liters to 60,000 million liters, which is going to create additional jobs also. And of course, we are able to do all this because there's a favorable environment, and there's also the potential to continue to grow our business. Another key investment that we are already doing is the investment in the dairy backward integration plan. We just finalized the agreement with Ogun State for a dairy farm and training center for farmers. And this is also going to have a massive impact. Our ambition there is to be able in in the coming 24 months to produce 1.5 million liters of milk through this farm. So basically, as you can see, His Excellency, we are already walking the talk on this topic of economic sustainability plans of Federal State of Nigeria. But we have a couple of challenges that I really also want to submit to you here. As you are aware, there's a milk ban in Nigeria to all the companies that are not indeed investing in backward integration plans. Of course, we have already started. What we will really like is to get the kind of exemption to be able to import while we are completing our dairy farm industry. I would not like to throw the numbers here, but I will not call it the loss, but the overcharge that we have because we are buying through the 6 major companies that are authorized to import milk in Nigeria, are more than €1 million every year. So this is very important for a small company that have this massive social impact in Nigeria like us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ferdinand Moko, for your questions to His Excellency the Vice President. I understand that the founder of Kui Deliveries, Mr. Homen, is back. Mr. Homen, please, can you take the floor now?
Absolutely, sorry about that. Good morning, Mr. Vice President. Quick Delivery is a software platform that was created by French entrepreneurs in Nigeria in 2018. We enable Nigerian merchants to seize the digital opportunity by providing last mile deliveries, fulfillment and payment services. And we have over 30,000 B2B users on our platform as of today. My remark will be centered on the fact that Nigeria has, in my modest view, Nigeria has all the assets required to become the dominant power in the digital economy in Africa. And very few countries are in that position today. And in my view, that will require, beyond what has already been done by the government and by very successful Nigerian entrepreneurs, it will require a real partnership between tech companies, the government, and other sectors such as telecom companies, to make the Nigerian domestic market a real powerhouse of digital innovation in Africa. A lot of that has already been kick-started, so to speak. But I observed when I arrived in Nigeria from France 2 years ago that one of the key enablers of this digital strategy was still lacking, so to speak. And I observed that in particular that the cost of data in Nigeria is actually higher than the cost of data in Europe. And I think there will be an interesting partnership to foster with the Nigerian telecom companies who are doing a very good job at adopting innovation when it comes their way, to make sure that the Nigerian population has the broadest possible use and access to data services and to digital services, because it's in this fashion that the US has become the leading digital power in the world today. They have a domestic market that they use to experiment innovative services, and they have demographics and an economy that has access to data very easily, and that can adopt innovative services in large numbers. So that will be my remark. I think it will constitute a real asset for the Nigerian for the growth of the Nigerian economy if the population could access more easily to and more cheaply, more affordably to data, because it will enable the growth of innovation on a much larger scale than it has today. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Mr. Homen, and thank you very much for your short questions, and then, of course, straight to the point. So last but not the least, I'll call on the country chair of Total, of course, the oil giant, Monsieur Mike Sangster. Mr. Mike Sangster, little bit.
Yeah, good morning, Your Excellency, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and also the Honourable Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment, and to the Ambassador of France to Nigeria, to the Chairman of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, and all my fellow heads of business, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure, to share the space with you this morning with the Vice President. Total has been, I think, a good partner and a friend of Nigeria for over 50 years. And I think altogether now we've produced over 3.4 billion barrels of oil the country's resources. And I'm sure over that period as well, we've contributed, significantly to several 100,000 jobs which have been created for Nigerians. And of course, our most recent flagship project was the Egina project, which was an investment of some $15 billion, which started up at the very end of 2018 and was producing at a peak of about 200,000 barrels per day earlier this year, just until the OPEC quotas came into being. I think Egina for us at Total was a great example of cooperation between ourselves, between NNPC, CNOOC, Sapetro, and Prime. And it also broke, many records in terms of the local content, with something like, I think, 46 million man-hours performed in the country, and a lot done in terms of human capacity development and the use of integrating some of the modules at the Ladle yard in Lagos. And I think it's also important as well that Egina has a zero gas flaring system. So again, very important, I think, as we all focus more and more on energy transition and climate change. And indeed, all the gas from the Egina field is exported to Nigeria LNG, obviously, to monetize it. So, Your Excellency, I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think the contribution of these projects, to the development in Nigeria goes beyond just the direct, capital investment by Total and our partners. There is a domino effect which extends, to the development of the capacities of local contractors, jobs, and creates many million man-hours for, small and medium businesses. So, I mean, we, Total, as a group, we're very keen to continue to invest in Nigeria, and I'm sure you'd be surprised if I didn't mention today the petroleum industry bill. We very much welcome the efforts that the government is making, to define a long-term framework for the oil and gas industry that really provides, the certainty and clarity, but also attractive terms, which really translate to a win-win solution for the country and also for investors. We really believe that making Nigeria, an attractive destination for investment is really the way to generate more revenue for the government as well as more jobs. And honestly, we believe that this initiative is vital, since when I look back over the 2015 to 2018 period, we can see that whereas Africa as a whole has attracted $70 billion of investment in oil and gas, Nigeria itself has only had $3 billion of that investment. So, we are concerned that maybe something needs to change. Something is not working very well. So, if you would indulge me, there are just a few. We do have some concerns about the current draft of the PIB, which you would very much appreciate. The authority to take some time looking at. One, in fact, is for the deep offshore for projects like Egina, where a kind of very heavy royalty was added last year through the Deep Offshore Act amendment. And we're concerned that will stifle new investments in deep water. So we are proposing that perhaps a 5-year royalty holiday could be proposed for new projects and projects which started up within 12 months of the Deep Offshore Act, because we really believe there's a lot of potential in deep water. And I think the second part is preserving the value of existing investments. It's not clear to us yet in the PIB how the credits that we have earned through previous investments, such as Egina, will be carried forward through into the new system, to the new terms and conditions. And we are a bit concerned that this absence of clear guidelines, maybe will undermine some investor confidence in new projects. And I think finally, we really do appreciate that the government has taken the initiative to reduce the royalty rates and some of the headline tax rates to encourage new investment. But sometimes the devil is in the details. So when we look at the detail now as to what costs we can actually deduct for these calculations, then it's changed quite a bit from the current system. So we're concerned that companies who are investing in new projects are not going to be allowed to deduct as much of these costs as previously was the case. So that again may be stifle in investments. So, Your Excellency, we also committed to our CSR projects in the country, and each year we spend about $40 million on all across the country. And in fact, we recently commissioned some 14 legacy projects in all the different geopolitical zones of Nigeria. And this is in addition to the student scholarships and the skills acquisition programs, in health centers. We also contributed very substantially with NNPC in the effort to fight against the COVID-19 virus with a $3 million investment. So, we are confident oil and gas will remain, very important source of revenue that can really launch Nigeria to the level that it deserves to be, when properly harnessed with the right investments and the right investment framework. And I was also very interested in what you said, Your Excellency, about your plan for 5 megawatts of solar power, because again, that's an area where, as a group, we are spending more and more time and more investments in solar. And I'd be very happy to follow up with some of your team to look at how we could assist in that program. So thanks again, everyone, for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Mike Sangster, for your robust, of course, you broke it down total. I had to keep it for last. Definitely, it's always like that. Thank you very much for your robust view anyway. And before His Excellency, the Vice President, come on to respond to the questions, the issues that have been raised, I will pick a question, of course. The question came in before we started from a member of the board and also the MDC of CFAO Group here in Nigeria. He said, I am Toma Plite, country delegate of CFAO Group in Nigeria. Among many businesses, we do import parts of our vehicle assembly lines. One of our main challenge is the cost of logistics. Moving a 40-feet container from the port to a less than 50-kilometer distance costs approximately $210 in Durban, $285 in Tema, and $2,000 in our Papa tin can. I believe exporters face similar challenges. This situation affects the competitiveness of the Nigerian economy. May I know what government's plan is to address this issue? So that's a question from the MD CEO of CFAO. So I will hand over now to His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, to comment on the questions that have been asked. Your Excellency, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I will ask the Honourable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, and also the MD of the DG of the NIPC to make a few quick remarks and possibly take a first stab at some of the questions that have been asked. So I'll begin with the Honourable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, so that I will speak after both of them have contributed.
If we can rightly get the Honorable Minister, I believe it's Mr. Niyi Adebayo.
Yeah.
So I'm going to promote the panelist right now. Mr. Niyi Adebayo, Honorable Niyi Adebayo, I believe you can speak now.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. You're live, sir.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Vice President, distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be with you this morning. I thank His Excellency, the Vice President, for inviting me to join this meeting. I did not pick up on much of what was said because I was having problems with my connectivity earlier. However, I believe the general gist is what we can do to assist French companies operating in Nigeria, especially with the ease of doing business for them here. First of all, I'd like to assure all companies that operate in Nigeria that our ministry, the Ministry for Industry, Trade and Investment, is always ready, willing, and able to assist companies that are operating in Nigeria. Our doors are open. We are prepared to listen to the problems that they have. We are prepared to look at these problems with a view to helping them solve them where possible. As you are aware, we are looking at various incentives to facilitate the expansion of your businesses in Nigeria. As you are well aware, Nigeria is desirous of getting as many people into jobs as possible. So we are working with the Ministry of Finance with a view to coming up with various incentives which will enable you to expand your businesses and, where possible, introduce new businesses into the Nigerian business landscape. We know that one of the major problems that many companies have in Nigeria is the issue of power. And we are in talks with the Ministry of Petroleum Resources with a view to bringing down the cost of gas to enable industries who are desirous of powering their own industries to have access to affordable gas to power their power plants. We're also in discussions and talks with the Central Bank of Nigeria with a view to seeing how the CBN can assist the companies more, especially with regards to being able to repatriate funds. I know that is a major problem. It's a problem that has been brought to our attention by many companies in the recent past, and we are in talks with the Central Bank of Nigeria. At present, Central Bank of Nigeria, with regards to release of foreign exchange, is concentrating more on funding for machinery and machinery for industries that utilize local raw materials, because the priority for now is for backward integration. So that is the priority as at now. However, as time goes on and as according to the governor of the central bank, as our foreign exchange situation improves, then it will be opened up more to other importers. We have a scheme in our ministry as at present, which is that we hold quarterly meetings with British companies where they tell us what problems they have, and we discuss, we take notes of their problems, and then by the time we hold the next meetings, we are able to discuss what progress has been made. We are prepared and open to have a similar situation, contact with the French companies. We are prepared to have a similar thing whereby we can meet on a regular basis so that the problems that they are encountering may be brought to our attention with a view to see how we can resolve them, and we can, as we progress, we can see how well we're doing in that regard. So I think unless there are other specific questions, I'll rest for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Niyi Adebayo, for your very robust presentation. And of course, one thing I must capture there is the fact that the model you're using for British companies to meet and of course check this progress that has been made. We'll keep in touch to ensure that we replicate the same model for French companies, and of course, we take it from there. Thank you very much for that. So I'm going to call on Ms. Yewande Sadiku now, for the General Secretary of the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission. Ms. Yewande, please.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
And thank you for the opportunity to speak to participants today. As His Excellency the Vice President said, this is the second engagement now with French businesses within a month. So we're all getting better at our French as time progresses. In relation to the questions that were asked, I'll first give some context of the role that NIPC plays and what NIPC was set up to do. It's an advocacy agency created by the federal government to essentially act as a liaison between investors and government agencies. And our primary object is carrying investors' problems to government and working on getting a resolution from them and helping investors better understand government policies by connecting them with the relevant government agencies. And a good number of the challenges that have been mentioned we're familiar with, and there is some work going on it. As the Honorable Minister mentioned, in relation to the challenges with FX in particular, the conversations with Central Bank continue, but the focus, as the Honorable Minister mentioned, has been in relation to providing foreign currency for companies who are importing machinery for manufacturing and the like. We realize clearly that a lot more investors need funds But the improvements that we've seen on the supply side for foreign exchange in relation to activity in particular on the Nigerian securities market with institutional investors, hopefully with the continuation of that should improve FX flow. The MD of SPI talked about incentives, for those who supported Nigeria during the pandemic. I don't know whether he was referring specifically to, well, I hope I heard right, that it was in relation, I don't know whether it was in relation to COVID specifically or Nigeria during this time. But the Finance Act 2020, the one that is now in draft form before the Assembly, actually provides an incentive for those who supported the COVID-19 Crisis Intervention Fund. I don't know whether that's the sort of incentive that he was referring to. And in relation to the many comments from Total, we're aware of the comments from the oil industry in relation to the PIB. We've actually had some engagements with the OPTS, of which I believe Total is a part. And there's another session that is planned with the OPTS over the next 2 weeks to look specifically at a quote unquote co-creation arrangement where the comments from the members of the OPTS, who largely represent the oil majors, can be incorporated into the work that is ongoing now in finalizing the terms of the PIB, so that hopefully what is finalized, what comes to Mr. President for assent is one that properly reflects the views of the private sector. I know that some of the comments from the OPTS have been incorporated, but in recent engagements, they indicated a good number of them had still not been. So that work continues. Again, to lean on the comment that the Honorable Minister said about the regular engagement between British investors and the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, I think a similar platform for French investors will be useful, so that a lot of these issues can be dealt at a more quote unquote granular level. And the sessions would normally have the chief executives of the relevant government agencies to the challenges that investors are bringing to the table, so that they can provide a nearer resolution, if you like. But we're very happy at NIPC after this session to pick up with you, with the Franco-Nigeria Chamber, or to pick up with the French Embassy on a closer resolution, if you like, or interaction with the relevant government agencies for the resolution of the issues that have been mentioned. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yewande Sadiku, the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission. Of course, you mentioned that the federal government has engaged with the French businesses twice in the past 1 month. You have engaged with us 3 times in the past 2 months. We are at our last webinar. Thank you very much. So I'll hand over to His Excellency, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. And thanks again for this opportunity to talk to you and also to hear your views. I'll just run through some of the comments and questions. There was one, I think the first was by Mr. Kolo, who I think it was also a question he asked around the FX crunch and transfer of funds and all that. I think that that's an issue, of course, that we are constantly engaging the CBN on, especially now, because as you know, there is a problem, of course, with foreign exchange and with and that obviously affects practically all trade, and affects the repatriation of funds, etc. But we're working with the central bank to see how we can ensure that there is at least a fair and transparent way of getting people accessing foreign exchange, that it is fair and that is transparent. Certainly, it will not, it is not, if it were available, if foreign exchange were available, we wouldn't even be talking about this. If it were available the way that it was, we wouldn't even be talking about this at all. But I think that the most important thing is that there should be a fair and transparent process so that it doesn't, so that people do not feel that they're excluded in any way. And that is ongoing. That conversation is going on between us and the central bank. But if there are specific issues and specific problems, I think those should be brought up, so that we can see what can be done. I think he made a comment about the road network around the ports. I take it that is the Apapa port. Am I correct?
The
Yes,
representative of
Excellency.
Air France. Yes.
Yes, Excellency.
Was that Apapa port? Okay. I'm sure that you would notice that quite a lot of work is going on now around, well, practically completed around the Apapa port. There's the Apapa port, the wharf concrete road from the Area B Police Command to the port. That I'm sure you are quite familiar with. And then the reconstruction of the port access roads running from the Apapa port, from the port itself all the way to the old toll gate on the road. That's also a concrete road that has been done. And then several other roads in that network. As a matter of fact, part of the reason why traffic was relatively heavy around those areas was really because of the infrastructure upgrades that are going on there. We're also working with the Lagos, with the NRC. The Lagos Kano rail project is starting from the Apapa, from the ports. And the whole idea, of course, is to ensure that we're able to use rail as another means of transportation of cargo from the ports out into the hinterland. So we expect that when that is completed, and we're hoping that as early as possible in the coming year, that part of the project will be completed. That part of the Lagos Kano, or the one coming from the ports, will be completed. So we hope that that will also ease traffic around the port area. So I think there was also a question by Spee, is that the right pronunciation, where he talked about incentives. I'm not so sure whether you were talking about incentives related to contributions made during COVID, or whether these are just general incentives for being good partners with Nigeria. You would have to say what sort of incentives you have in mind, because frankly, we haven't thought about that. At least I have not had occasion to think about that. But perhaps you come up with something innovative, and we're happy to consider what you might think might be a good thing for, sort of incentives or whatever, sort of encouragement for businesses that are here in Nigeria and remain in Nigeria. I think the Danone, the fan milk, yes, the major issue was with respect to more access, being able to import milk. And first, let me commend the excellent, the very excellent work and contribution that fan milk is making, especially job creation. And I want to say that that's very encouraging indeed. But as you know, for us, the very, very important, the whole issue of backward integration is right front and center, and has been so for many years. And we believe that an aggressive pursuit of this is really important for us as an economic policy, which is why some of what you may consider difficult circumstances have been imposed on those who are in your particular line of business. I think the most important thing is that backward integration works for everyone. And I'm glad to hear that you're already doing 1.5 million liters of milk in Ogun State, but as a percentage of your of what you're producing and retailing at the moment, obviously this is still very small. And we're looking forward to greater to your greater participation and quicker participation in this whole process of backward integration. I don't know, and I cannot say what the current position is with respect to how the central bank is approaching this, especially with smaller companies, as you said. But this is a point that I will be happy to take up and find out exactly, what is going on. But the most important thing, as I said, is that we are completely committed to the backward integration. Unfortunately, over the years, many companies have committed to backward integration, but simply not been as diligent or as faithful to those promises as they ought to be. So we really would want to see much better commitment and a plan that is aggressive as our own ambitions and as our own aspirations are. Thanks very much. Quick, I think that was the comment, and I agree with you entirely that we have the demography to be, a digital powerhouse, in the world, and also that we should do something about data, cost of data. I agree fully with those comments. The other thing, Total and the Deep Offshore Act. I'm happy that Yewande, the OPTS, that Yewande mentioned the OPTS engagement. With respect to the issues around the deep offshore, I'm also aware, and Mr. Sangster will correct me if I'm wrong, that there's already quite a bit of engagement going on with the NNPC, where they're trying to use the SNEPCO Bonga framework to address the concerns around the deep offshore act. If my understanding of what is going on is correct, it is that the SNEPCO Bonga, because you are also part of the Bonga, transaction anyway. If the SNEPCO Bonga is used as a model, then there will be no need to engage everyone individually. And my understanding is that you're also part of that whole process, so that I think that this can be resolved in that way. The specific details of the issues that you have with the PIB, I think the forum of the OPTS will be a great one to address them. But if you have other specific issues that you think you may need to address, we'll be happy to take those on board as well. But you're also right that we have to take a look at why investments are not coming into the hydrocarbon industry in the way that they ought to, especially relative to, lesser endowed countries in Africa. And this is a conversation which I'm sure you know is going on very agitatedly in government circles, with the NNPC, players in that field. But it's certainly something of great concern to us. And we are also hoping to address some of the critical issues that may need to be addressed to open up the industry properly to investment. Just to correct there was a point I think Mr. Sangster said about 5 megawatts of solar power. No, it's actually 5 million. We're connecting using solar home systems in 5 million homes. That's the idea, right? Putting solar home systems, 5 million homes. And this is, as I said, private sector driven. What we're providing is credit for assemblers of solar home systems. Those that are important. And we're hoping, of course, to have more people assembling solar systems and different components of solar systems here, and hopefully producing them at some point. So that it's not 5 megawatts, it's actually 5 million homes. I think those are the general questions or comments. The others, of course, I think have been taken by, I think there's other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So right now, I will hand over to board member of Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mrs. Victoria Adefala, who sits on the board of Orange and also GT Bank Cyprus, and of course, one of the founding members of the France-Nigerian Business Club. Madam Victoria Adefala.
Thank you, Moses. Your Excellency, Vice President Yemi Oshibajo. My name is Victoria also Adefala. Honorable Minister for Trade and Commerce, Otumbani Adebayo, Your Excellency Ambassador Jerome Pasquier, and the DG of the Nigerian Investment Promotion Council, Ms. Yewande Sadiku, Chairman of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce, Alhaji Usman Mohammed, and all our participants. My task is very simple, and actually it's made simpler by the fact that everybody has covered everything. And indeed, His Excellency captured everything that I had been scribbling to make notes to say he had it all captured. So I would just say that it's important to simply note in my capacity as a member of the board of the Franco-Nigeria Chamber of Commerce and all other French associations that the relationship between France and Nigeria in business has always been a robust one and promises to continue to be that, with the type of encouragement that we are seeing from the Office of the Vice President, from the NIPC, and from the entire government, and also from the support of the French Embassy for us as business people doing business in Nigeria. All the points that have been noted here by all our speakers actually are issues that affect not only our members, but even those of our stakeholders in the wider ecosystem of the French business community. What I would also wish to point out is that even though people often think that language would be a barrier for the business between Nigeria and France, it has not been. A number of Nigerians would always say to you, when you say to them, parlez-vous français, they'll say, je parle un peu, no matter how little. And I'm happy to hear His Excellency said that his French is getting better. We look forward to the day that he will have an entire webinar in France and in French. So there are some things that we can boldly take away from today, and we can call them our bank check, because it's been said to us by the relevant members of government, backed and supported by His Excellency Vice President Oshibajo. You have promised us that exciting things are about to happen for the relationship France-Nigeria. You have said to us that within the framework of the Economic Sustainability Plan, that there are a lot of projects, but you specifically talked about the solar power project of bringing power to 5 million homes, and you have invited us, those of us who can participate in that, to throw in our interest, and it will be carried along. We have listened to Otumbani Adebayo, who has said that there will be concerted efforts for the reduction of cost of gas. That would be interesting to members of our chamber and our stakeholders and our ecosystem who need that to happen. We thank you. Otumba Niyi Adebayo has also said to us that there is work going on for the ease of repatriation of funds, even though the focus at this point is with the backward integration, which His Excellency eventually also emphasized is where the focus is. But I know that the likes of Air France and everybody else who has talked today and others who are participating who recognize the very difficult time that it is today, Your Excellency, about repatriation of funds. We know that you have heard us. We know that you will take this back to your offices, and we know that we have a listening ear and that work is going on to make that easier, even for those who are not really able to backward integrate at this time because of the nature of their businesses and not because they do not wish to do that. We are happy to hear from Otumba Niyi Adebayo and from Mrs. Yewande Sadiku that the doors are open for members of the French business community, French Nigeria business community and the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce to have more frequent meetings where issues will be discussed, and at each given meeting, the follow-up meeting will consider where we are and where we would be going. With regard to the incentives for those who have supported the Nigerian economy during this difficult time, as mentioned by SPI Oil and Gas, we hear Your Excellency loud and clear that if we have innovative ideas, we can bring those forward. And that's extremely encouraging. We have heard that under the auspices of the OPTS and the engagement with government, those issues that have been raised by Total with regard to the deep water and all that is required for us to have a win-win PIB bill will be considered. We thank you for that as well. We have also seen that for the Nigeria being the hub of digital deliveries, as mentioned by Quick, is something that will also be supported by the government. These are just a few things that we're going to take away, and I think that they make absolute value for the opportunity to have been in the presence of His Excellency Vice President Yemi Osinbajo today. We thank you very much, and we say to you, merci beaucoup. Back to you, Moses.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Victoria Adefala, member of the Board of Directors of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. You said there are a few things to take away. I have a basket full to take away today. So I'll hand over to the Chairman, Board of Directors of the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry now to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Moses. I thank everyone here present this morning. Most especially the Vice President of Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time, sir. The Ambassador of France, thank you. Members of Franco Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The Honorable Minister of Trade and Investment, thank you very much. The Executive Secretary of the NIPC, all the French company, the CEO that present here this morning, ladies and gentlemen, I thank everyone for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your short vote of thanks. And of course, it's important today that we are taking a lot of things out of this place. And we are happy that His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was on with us today. And of course, like Mrs. Victoria Adefala has mentioned, we have a lot of things to take home with. And of course, she has been able to do that for us. So once again, I'm going to thank the representatives from Air France, representing Mr. Michel Kolo, Owolabi Olumide, Danone Fan Milk, Mr. Ferdinand Moko. Of course, the French Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs, His Excellency, the Ambassador Jérôme Pasquet, Ambassador of France in Nigeria. Madame Laurent Montmihon, the Consul General of France in Nigeria, the French Ministry for the Economy and Finance, Pascal Fou, the head of the Regional Economic Service, and of course, Mr. Jean Gwenole, the Economic Council in Lagos, and of course, Kui Deliveries, Monsieur Romain, SPI Oil and Gas, Guillaume Nafix, and Total, of course, Mr. Mike Sangster. And of course, for all of us that have joined this morning, we really thank you very much. The Honorable Minister for Investment Trade, we thank you very much. And of course, our very, very close partner, the Director General of the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, always with us anytime we need you. She's always engaging with the chamber. She was at the last webinar we had 2 months ago, and you're here with us again. And for all our members that have joined today, we thank you very much. Like Mrs. Victoria has said and the chairman has said, merci beaucoup. And of course, the French Week continues. Tomorrow we're going to be having the Entrepreneurship Summit, and it's going to be a beautiful week. Thank you very much for joining us this day, and we look forward to a beautiful week ahead. Bye-bye.